Hey, everybody, welcome to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. You guys can get my book, Streams of Income, for free at streamsofincomeradio.com, along with all of the past episodes. You can listen on demand. So I know that some of you might be listening in your car or you're out jogging or whatever, and you can't write stuff down or you want to go back and listen to an episode. It's all there, streamsofincomeradio.com. And so I always say this, Jenny, I always say, I'm excited to have this guest. I guess I wouldn't want to have a guest on that I'm not excited about having on, but you're the first person that's ever been on twice, other than I've done a solo episode twice, but you're the first guest to be on twice. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm honored. You've been on every single episode. So
That's right.
Special.
I guess I'd better be, right? I guess I could have guests. There's people that do guests, have a whole guest host for a whole show. Not done that, but you would be the person I'd probably asked to do that if I ever needed that done.
Ooh, that's more pressure.
But guys, this is Jenny Hunt. She's my friend, business partner. If you remember back to episode 4, we had her on talking about how she's a homeschool mom of 3 and makes 6 figures. And we talked about her start with, you went to garage sales and found strollers, right?
Strollers, yes. Children's
and you're
gear.
buying them for $15, selling them for over $100.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty good margin. Yeah. She's not doing strollers anymore.
And
she's not doing eBay really anymore. She also was the person we talked about who had if you guys have no idea how to get started, you have some time, find somebody who you can essentially sell their stuff for them. She was doing consignment in that way. She had a lady that was dropping off garbage bags of children's clothes. Is that right?
Yep. The big black ones. I mean, they were, yeah.
Oh my gosh, the garden bags?
It wasn't all children's clothes. Yeah, the garden bags. They were,
oh my goodness,
a lot of inventory.
Jeez. And she was listing them on eBay and listing on eBay. If you guys have done that, that's very tedious work. You don't think so?
Well, I was just going to say, it's much easier now than it was. So I have a different perspective. I mean, back then we didn't have smartphones.
Sure.
So we thankfully had digital cameras. You know, we could take the pictures, but we had to take the card out or plug it into the computer. Now you can do your listings right from your phone. I mean,
sure.
It's a different
it's so much easier, but eBay is a little bit harder than Amazon. And as far as you have to list every single, it's not as easy to list things, but, so she's not doing that anymore, obviously, but it was a great jumpstart. And so for those of you who are listening to this and are just kind of wanting to dip your toe in the water and Jenny, this is what I tell people is that selling physical products online is one of the best ways to get started making a side income, because you can literally do it with no money like you did. I know you had some money to invest in the strollers, but if you had no money to get started at all, if you had to go way back to that time, you could easily find somebody that you could sell their stuff for them. You have that skill set now and could easily go back to that if you ever had to. But guys, you could get started with $0 and 0 experience. If you know how to list, just take a quick course. We talk about the Proven Amazon course on here. The link's in the show notes. You guys can learn how to do something that a lot of people need. And Jenny started that way. And thankfully is not doing that anymore, because otherwise we probably wouldn't have partnered up. We have a private label group that we do together where we teach people how to create their own brands the easy way. You don't have to source overseas from China. Of course you can, but I know that's a big barrier for some folks. And we've partnered together to just make private label accessible to a lot of people. But what we're talking about today is how to create multiple streams of income. And I know that's what this whole show is about, but kind of getting into some of the nitty gritty of it. Jenny, you did a post on Facebook the other day. I think you said, would you be shocked to know that I have like 18 streams of income? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And that's got like a crazy amount of engagement. So tell us about your 18 streams. You don't have to mention all of them, but that might just blow people's minds. How do you even begin, and gosh, I know there's so many different directions we can go with this, with how you begin, but I guess maybe name some of them. I'll talk about some of mine, and maybe that'll give people an idea of how they can begin thinking this way, that it's, a lot of them feed off of each other. It's not like you went and started a lawn mowing business and you also are a contractor and you build houses. Oh, and you're a roofer. Oh, and you have a lemonade stand on the weekends. No, it's not that. They kind of all flow together to make it easier to launch one after you have another one. So let's get into some of those.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And actually one of the things that we were talking about before, Ryan, was this idea of, you talk a lot about streams of income. And what I kind of look at this as, I have different spectrums of income.
Yeah.
So a spectrum is things that are all related, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and so for me personally, like one of the things the private label group that we have is a great example. We've done you know, you have your book, which I don't financially benefit from, but you do. And then that was the foundation for this mentoring program. And from there, so that's one thing, but it's the same content from your book, a little bit deeper. There was some training that's deeper. We go in and there's some hand holding there, right? Where we're mentoring, we're journeying with people. So that's a revenue stream. And then from there, we've done mastermind groups where it's more of a small group coaching even, and we've done live events. And so all of those are around the same content, and each of those things are one revenue stream coming in, right? So with the private label, we have I think we have at least seven different revenue streams just with private label.
Just from that one area of content, yeah.
And it's most of it, I mean, it's the same. It's not like we're teaching something different to the different groups. It's the same foundational strategies that we're teaching. We just have a little bit more engagement that we offer.
Sure.
Or it's taught differently. Instead of it being a PDF that's downloaded, it's a workshop webinar series. But it's the same content. So there's not a lot of more work involved to create these spectrums. So a lot of the revenue streams that I have coming in are that type of a thing. So another revenue stream and spectrum that I have is based on KDP. I teach people how to how to self-publish books that are like, they're low content, no content books, right? That are like journals or workbooks or logs or trackers. We have a class where we teach people 10 books in 10 days, how to get 10 books up in 10 days. Bam, you got them up. Now you know the process. You know, I've done other workshops with the same content, but delivered differently, maybe had some more depth. And then of course I have my own journals and books that I've put up as well. That's also a revenue stream. So it is leveraging something that I'm doing and letting that kind of become a spectrum. And I might have multiple things, you know, like I just named two, private label and KDP, which do have a little bit of overlap, but they're totally different.
Yeah, but you're taking those same concepts that we teach in private label and applying it to KDP. And guys, KDP is Kindle Direct Publishing. For those of you who may not have heard that term before. And essentially it's a program where you can self-publish on Amazon. If you do not have a book, you're not an author, you can be an author. And I kind of don't want to downplay being an author. It's great, but it's so much easier now than it was 20 and 30 years ago. So the old process was, I have this idea for a book, and Jenny, a lot of people think it's the same way, where I've written a manuscript and now I'm sending it off to 20 different publishers, and I'm just sitting at home praying for them to say yes. And I'm getting all these rejection letters in the mailbox. My mom went through that when she wrote a book. This was back in like 2006 when she did that. I don't even think KDP was around then. And she finally ended up finding a company that she could publish with in a different way. But KDP, guys, is an opportunity where if you can upload a file, it's more difficult, a little bit more difficult than that. But essentially, if you can upload a file, you can do this. And there are people to handle all the technical aspects of your cover and your formatting and all that. But there's tools inside KDP that show you how to do that, even that part. But you guys can write a book. It's not that difficult. And
you don't even have to write a book. I mean, that's part of what we, you know, and you were saying earlier about, you know, you can start with no money. That's the other thing that's beautiful about KDP is it's print on demand. There's no investment out of pocket. So, but you know, there are people who have a book inside of them. They have this thing they want to put out. And sometimes when I talk about publishing a book, their eyes glaze over though, because they don't have a book. I could never do that. So, you know, a book could be just lines, a lined journal. It could be a list, a planner, you know, with calendar pages inside. And so it doesn't have to be something that you write, but lots of opportunity there. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. We have about a minute left. So in the last episode, we talked with Nathan and Steve Hibbert, who you know really well. We talked about merch, Amazon's print on demand platform for t-shirts. And so we honestly didn't plan this, but this is super cool to have you on right after them, because guys, this is the same type of thing. We talked last week with them about taking a design that you create, or maybe you have a designer create for you, and put it on a t-shirt. and you don't have to spend any money. You just literally, I mean, you maybe have to buy the design or pay somebody to create the design, but if you're a designer, you're already good. You just upload that design to Amazon's merch platform, and you are up for sale, and it didn't cost you anything. This is the same thing with KDP. You have a design idea for a book or a journal. You literally can upload it, and it's available on Amazon.com or Amazon.co.uk, and or wherever you are in the world, and you didn't cost you anything. So that is really cool. We'll dig more into that, the whole process, all the other streams that Jenni has here in the next segment. Guys, I'm Ryan Rieger. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. Don't forget, you can get my book, Streams of Income, for free at streamsofincomeradio.com. We're chatting with Jenni Hunt, the first guest that's ever been on twice. You get that award.
What do I get?
I'll have to think of something. You get my book for free, Streams of Income, at Streams of Income Radio.
Awesome.
You have to order it though. No. No, guys, this is we're talking about different streams of income. This is the name of the program, but Jenni is somebody who is doing it all the time. She is living it. She's got 18 plus different streams of income, and they're not all completely unrelated. So in the last segment, Jenni, we said, you're creating a lemonade stand, and then also you got a lawnmower business, and also you sell physical products online. There are things that kind of interrelate. So let's talk about how that works. And the person, how somebody's sitting here thinking, I've never created one. How do I even get started?
Okay. That's a loaded question.
There's a lot. There's a lot there to talk about and a lot to unpack.
Right. But I wanted to just say something related to what you were talking about, when you have, like you were using a lemonade stand or, all these things, maybe you're investing in real estate, and then maybe you're also selling on Amazon, and maybe you're, coaching some people, life coaching type of a thing too. Those are totally unrelated.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. I want to make sure that that's clear, that there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes people get to a point where they're stretched so thin and they don't know where they're focusing. And then they're trying to duct tape those things together somehow. And that's really not where you want to find yourself. So at the beginning, even if you have something already, or you have 2 or 3 different revenue streams coming in, having a plan is really helpful to know, okay, where do I want to go, and what does that look like? But you asked, where do you start if you don't have anything? And I think you touched on this in the last segment a little bit, that, easy to start with a physical product. If you need to bring in money, you don't have anything going, start there just to be able to generate some revenue. But if you're looking to build something, you could have different revenue streams where you're taking a physical product and selling it on Amazon, Etsy, Facebook, eBay. So you have different platforms. Those are all different revenue streams.
Right.
But I think that, and you can bolt those down and outsource, right? So that you're not chained to that, and it's not hour to dollar type of work. But I think that a lot of people actually, they're doing something like that because they have a dream, that they have something else that they're passionate about.
Yes.
And so digging down and figuring out what is, really looking at what's your why, and is there something related to your why that you could do that would create revenue for you? That's when it gets really fun, in my opinion. So how do you figure that out? That's to me, that's the loaded question. How do you figure that out? And I get asked that all the time. And Ryan, I know you do too. And one of the things I heard recently, and I thought that just nailed it, was to really is good to look back at your story. What have I learned in life? What have I overcome? Usually people, like if you're a fitness coach, it's because, not always, but a lot of times, or you want to help people lose weight, it's because you have overcome that in your own life and you're passionate about that. Or if you have learned how to make money with multiple streams of income, you become passionate to share that with other people because you have learned that and overcome that. If you are a life coach, of some sort, and you want to journey with people to help them figure out, get over hurdles or figure out where they're stuck, or a mindset kind of a coach, it's likely that you have been through something like that. So look back at your story and figure out, what have I done? Talk to people, start journaling a little bit, just write out a timeline if you need to do it that way, and just think about, what have I overcome that I want to help other people overcome. Usually that's where people kind of find their passion. It's something that they've experienced themselves. And so I would start there. And then as far as topic, if that makes sense. And then I would go and dig into, find a community to serve that is involved in that topic. So if you're looking at fitness and, you know, or weight loss or health or, you know, something along those lines, I'd get specific, but if you don't really know where you want to go in that, get involved in a community. There's plenty of them on Facebook.
Oh, sure.
You know, and just start listening and start serving. And when you serve, I have kind of this little, you serve them and they will come, I promise. So what I mean by that is you start serving and people notice. This is not like how the world functions. People don't do that very often. They usually, there's a ulterior motive, you know.
Sure.
But go genuinely serve people, genuinely answer questions. Oh, I've done that. Here's what worked for me, without selling. Just try to walk and journey with people. What happens is they start reaching out to you and asking you more. Can I learn more? Can you help me? And then you start building a community of your own that you can serve. And you start also understanding that where people are stuck. You know, what is their pain point? So you have your pain points, but you're not your customer necessarily. So you need to get involved in a community and listen to what are their pain points, where are they stuck, and how can you help them with what you've learned in your journey?
Man, that's so good. There's so much we can jump into in that. My goodness, guys. Yeah, that's it. What question we ask folks that ask us this, where do I start, is what question do people ask you? If you're at an event and people are always asking you about this, what is that? That could be a topic of something that you could turn into a stream of income. So if everybody asks you, going back to fitness, saying, Ryan, how did you lose 55 pounds in 2 days? You know, maybe not, that wouldn't be possible, but you know, how did you had surgery, cut off a leg? But if they say, how did you lose so much weight? You know, then that's obvious. If you're getting that question all the time, there's an opportunity there. That, by the way, the fitness niche is, you know, that's a great niche to be in, as far as there's need there. And you can take that niche, that need, and turn that into a profit. We talk about turning your passion into a profit, and it is fun to help people. And so just think about what people need. What are they asking you all the time? That could be a trigger. What are you interested in? What are you knowledgeable about? I love what you said. What have you overcome? What process have you gone through? What have you done that's been successful? We obviously know the physical product selling niche. We've built our own businesses selling physical products, and now we teach it. So guys, what is that for you? What have you done? What do you know? What process have you gone through? What do you think you could help people overcome as well? And these are all questions just to get you thinking right now. And you may not know exactly, but some of you know, like, yep, that's the topic and I need to start doing that. Well, then what Jenni said is find those communities that are already talking about those things. Serve that audience. Don't come in there and say, hey, I got an ebook, or hey, I'm a coach, come find me and here's my sales page. No. Get involved in that group, serve them well, get to know the admins, because Jenni might be able to talk about joint venture partnerships potentially. I don't know if we'll have time for that, but essentially partnering with people who already have an audience and creating a win-win-win with those people. You and I have done that many times, and it's a great way to kickstart a business, or, you know, get people into what you're trying to do. So gosh, there's so much.
Yeah. You know, the other thing, when you're using your own experiences to move forward, there's a huge trend right now. And I don't think it's going to go anywhere, other than forward. And growing in, you know, the whole story branding and talking about your story. That is because we are created for community. We are created for relationships. And when we're sharing our stories, people can relate to that. And it gives you a bond with whoever you're sharing with. That you can't get when you're just trying to sell something, you know? And so if you're pulling from your own experiences, that you can't help but have your story be a part of your message for your business. And so that's going to just ignite growth. and help you move in a direction that's natural. It's
right.
a natural movement and momentum rather than, going door to door trying to sell a vacuum cleaner. It's just a different ball game.
So I wouldn't want to do that. That is not a stream of income I want to do, but I would if I had to.
But you don't have to. That's the thing.
Right.
You don't have to. Nobody has to, unless your vacuum has changed your life and you have a story behind it. That's something that it's, I don't know. Then you use, you are passionate about it because it's had an impact on your life. And we laugh, but that's what's gonna, I don't want to say that's what's gonna sell, but really that's what's gonna sell. I mean, if you're looking to build a business, Jim Cockrum says, business, it's a transaction. I think you got that from
Rabbi Lappin.
Yep. But it's a transaction. It's a relationship.
Yep.
That's what a business is.
It is. It's all about relationships. The fact that Jenni's even on this podcast with me is because of a relationship that started when I went to a conference and saw her, and I had a prior conversation and back and forth, and I got to first meet her at a conference, and now her and her family and me and my family have gotten to be friends. It's so cool. But guys, it's about relationships. Get to know people, network, go to conferences, be involved in Facebook groups, but serve that community well. So we'll talk more, dig into more about streams of income, how she's done 18 ways that you guys can think about doing it in your own business, in your own life, when we continue with Jenni Hunt. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and we're chatting with Jenni Hunt, the first guest that has been on twice. And we're only 18. This is only episode number 18. And she was also in episode 4, talking about how she's a homeschool mom of 3, makes 6 figures. That was our episode 4. Talked about her start with e-commerce, selling physical products on eBay, selling strollers, buying them for $15 at a garage sale, selling them for $150. She's a long way off now from strollers and is doing many other cool, not that strollers are bad, that's a great way to get started.
On eBay, the same strollers I was selling. You can pick them up at garage sales. Yep.
And guys, this shows you that there's so many ways to make money online. And Jenni, this is not the direction we said we would go, but we could say real quickly is it would be so easy, and it is so easy to get distracted and lose focus and think, you know what? Jenni was successful selling strollers. I'm going to do that too. Right. And guys, you could totally do that, but that may not be the direction that you should go. And so sometimes a challenge for us is we see all these people in our groups we'll talk about Tammy here in a minute and some of the things that she's doing. It would be easy for me to think, you know what, I just need to drop everything and go do that because that's working for her. And I'm certain I could make that work, but that doesn't really fit into what I'm trying to accomplish right now. And so there is it's really easy. And we talk about chasing squirrels to look at all these people who are being successful at different models. And want to go all those different directions. Guys, do not do that. Resist the urge. Pick something, do it. You may not do it for very long, but just know that what's cool about this is that there are so many different ways to make money online, that there's going to be a way that's going to fit for you, your personality with what you want to do. Jenni, I imagine for you, the thought of having to go to garage sales every Saturday to make a living sounds awful, but go back then, that was wonderful opportunity for you. Like same for me. If I had to go back and sell furniture and deliver furniture all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I would hate it, but I loved it then. It was such a blessing that basically the grace for that has lifted. And now I'm doing something else that I feel like, I'm doing what God's called me to do. So,
well, and it played a part,
it totally played a part
in your journey to move forward and to get you to where you are.
Yeah. There's no way that you and I could have partnered 10 years ago when I started, because I wouldn't have been able to add any value to you. You would, I wasn't at this, I have not done anything as far as private label is concerned, to have anything to offer there. Yeah, it just wasn't the right time.
So that's a really good point. We can camp on this for just a minute. I know you're right. It isn't where we were going to go, but this thing of the right idea versus a good idea versus the right idea. Yep. And how do you tell the difference between them? And that the things to really move on, one, you need to have a plan at the beginning. So you can go, okay, wait, nope, that is a shiny object over here. And that's just a low hanging fruit that I don't really have. It will cost me more in the long run if I take the time to do that.
Yep.
Or you might go, that is a low hanging fruit. I'm going to go for it with a full understanding that it is pausing these other things and being intentional. That's important. But the thing with the good ideas is that they will still be around
Yes, that's
in,
right.
the future. If it is the right idea for you to move forward on, it will still be there when it's the right time.
Yep.
And so, that's one of the things, like sometimes the reason that we jump on things is we think that opportunity is not going to be there if we don't do it right now. And the thing is that the right opportunities, they will be there when the right time, when it is the right time. So anyway,
true.
just wanted to camp on that.
And guys, all the offers are going to come around again. Don't feel like you're missing out if, you can't jump on something or it's just not the right time for you. Don't buy that course if you don't think that's something you can take advantage of right now or in a very short amount of time from now. It'll come around again, because if it's going to make money for that person once, they're going to want to launch it again. You and I have been around long enough now that we see that some of the same things come up. Some of the major launches that happen every year, sometimes sooner than that. So there will be another opportunity, guys. And we'll be talking about something in the next segment that you can become involved with us, how we can help you create streams of income. But guys, hopefully you'll get to know us better. Some of you already do know us. Our heart is that if that's not right for you, don't sign up. Right. But if you feel like this is a fit, that you are ready to create your first, second, third, whatever stream you're ready for, to take your passion and turn it into profits, we are confident we can help you do that. And we'll give you an opportunity to join us in that. But again, if this is not the right time for you, hey, we're going to be around and we'll offer it again, because we want to help people and help so many people already. And we're going to talk about Tammy here in a minute, but guys, don't get overwhelmed with Jenni's 18 streams and think, oh my gosh, I've never created one. And how am I going to get there? You can totally do it. And we'll show you really quickly an example how I wrote a book called Private Label the Easy Way back in 2015. And that's all I ever imagined it being. But then I met Jenni, and she and I worked together with somebody else on a course, taking a book about wholesale and turning that into a mentoring program with a course. So I asked her, could we do the same thing with my private label book? And of course she said yes, thankfully. And we partnered together and took the content of the book and turned it into a course that has a Facebook community. And maybe you, Jenni, knew the power of that. I didn't realize the power of that Facebook community then. Now I do, because now it's allowed us then to listen to those folks and serve them another way. So we found out where they got stuck or where they're getting stuck. And that allowed us to offer other things to them, which created other streams of income for us in that same spectrum of private label. Right. So we talked about the mastermind group. We have these take action groups where we help people, like accountability type groups. We've done the rabbit trail calls, or we help people find products quickly in a fun way, like over the shoulder type things. So guys, if you have a topic that you're good at, that maybe you've written a book about, or you have a course, or maybe you're a coach, or maybe you've not done any of these yet, just know these connect together. It makes sense. It's easy. Once you have an audience of people that are telling you what they need, then you just come up with these new streams of income pretty quickly.
And it's a win-win. It's not just, oh yeah, you're gonna, it's great.
And you're not offering, you're not necessarily saying, ooh, I hope they're going to buy this, because at some point they're telling you they want this. And once you launch it, you got sales immediately. So it's cool. Thanks for partnering with me on all this stuff. But now we have a program where we'll talk about this in this next segment, where essentially we found what we did with private label was a blueprint, how we took a course or took a book, turned it into a course. Then we have mastermind groups. We've done live events. We have a done for you service in part of it now. We saw that as a blueprint that we could do this for pretty much any type of content or any type of program or any type of knowledge. And so that's what we'll talk about in the segment 4. But let's talk about Tammy, what she did. Yeah. She's one of our students.
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the best ways to learn this and to get, to understand what a spectrum of revenue is to hear examples. Okay. And so we talked a little bit about KDP, the Kindle direct publishing. So I have this class, 10 books in 10 days, and was teaching it. The first one I was teaching with my daughter too, which was really fun. The first one I think it was about a little over a year ago, and Tammy was a student in that. She had never heard of KDP. She hadn't done anything like that. She's a creative. So I think her husband's like, hey, you should sign up for this. So she did. She took it, and I think I had just met her at a conference, but we didn't really know each other.
Okay.
So she was in the class, and in the kickoff for the class, one of the things we do is we talk about other things that you can do once you know how to use KDP. And and don't go into depth at all, just like, here's some things you can do. And one of those things is to be able to take KDP and partner with other businesses and take what you learn and publish books, like for a gym, publish a customized fitness log for a gym. Okay. Publish a journal, business journal for a business coach, that kind of a thing. So she took that idea, totally ran with it, has built a business around it, and was killing it. And so, and she asked, we kind of went back and forth a little bit on different things. And I'm like, Tammy, we got to teach other people this. Like, we didn't go deep, but we didn't even, I mean, it was just, here's something you can do. You can partner with other gatekeepers, other businesses. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, she just like totally ran with it. So we partnered. I knew there was a need. There were other people even that were saying, I want to know more about how to do that. And here Tammy's doing it, and she's one of the students. And so, hey, let's partner. I know how to take things and build a course and how to deliver, talk about, let's break it into workshops, all this stuff. And so we took her content of what she was doing, and we built a plan and it's called KDP for B2B. It's this idea of teaching other people now how to do that, how to go into meet, go to other business, how to approach them, how do you structure the pricing, all of that. But that is an example of, and then we split profits on that. So I'm teaching how to do KDP in multiple different spectrum there. We've got the 10 books in 10 days class. We have challenges, things like that. There's video series you can just get just the video. And then also partnering with some of the students who have gone through, like Tammy, to take it even deeper in another direction.
Love it.
It's been awesome. So
it's been awesome. Wow. We got about 20 seconds left.
Okay. I'll be quiet.
No, it's good. This is good stuff, guys. We're going to continue this in the next segment, because there's something there that you just said that dawned on me. Basically 3 ways to make money from knowledge that maybe you've talked about it before, but I've never noticed this. It's always been there, but guys, we'll be back more with Jenni Hunt in the next segment. Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger. We're chatting with my good friend, business partner, Jenni Hunt. And don't forget, you can get my book, Streams of Income, for free at streamsofincomeradio.com. All the links, all the past episodes are on demand there. And Jenni, you were on episode 4 with me, and excited to have you back on number 18, I believe. Cool. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So we are chatting with Jenni about multiple streams of income. She had a post on Facebook that just got a lot of engagement, saying about how she has 18 plus streams of income. And before you guys think like, oh my gosh, how does she do it all? This is not, as we mentioned in a previous segment, this is not like her having a lemonade stand on the weekends and throughout the week she's a contractor. And then, oh, by the way, she also sells products on Amazon. Typically, these are things that are interrelated. And that makes it so much easier to wrap your head around how we do it. And I think in my book, I say I have 16 streams, and it kind of depends on how you count them. And if we counted every single little physical product we sell, we probably could get to hundreds. But we're talking about bigger things like selling on Amazon being one, this book being a second one, a course being a third. And so when you were talking in the last segment, I was thinking about, and we've talked about this before, but I never thought about this way, is there's basically 3 ways, and maybe there's more, and we'll talk about this, but 3 ways to monetize the knowledge that you have. So for example, let's say somebody who is selling physical products online. Obviously the first stream and the easiest one to understand is doing that yourself. Like what you did with your strollers. You were buying them at a garage sale for $15, selling them on eBay for over $100. That's a great stream of income, but you were doing that physical work yourself. A second way that you could do that is that you could essentially take that knowledge of selling physical products and do it for other people. So let's say there's, and this is the whole proven product partnering concept. You could partner up with a company or somebody else who has physical products, And now that you know how to sell on Amazon or eBay, you can offer to sell them online for that company or that person. That's the second one. And then the third is you could teach it, which you do. And we're thankful that you do, because now we partner together and show people how to sell and how to create and sell their own private label products, having their own brand with our private label, the Easy Way program. So there's three right there, kind of overarching. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure you're already thinking of more.
Yes.
But those are, in my mind, some easy ways to think of. You do it yourself, you do it for somebody else, or that you teach it to others. And guys, it's the same knowledge essentially. So there's three ways right there. What are some other ones that you have?
Well, I was just thinking as you're saying this, I think that's awesome. Yeah, there's those three categories, but maybe you could take the teaching one and actually broaden that and a little bit more. So there's also, so you're talking about do it yourself, that where you're taking what you know. I know how to sell on, that's what I did. I know how to sell on eBay, or I'm learning how. Now then do it for somebody. That's what I did. I met somebody who didn't want to do it anymore. She trained me to know even more, to do better. She was a power seller, but I did it for her. And then we split revenue. So that's that done for you. And then teaching other people. Now I'm in that area where I enjoy teaching people what I've learned. But I think there's ways you can teach. It can be you create a course, but it can also be a done with you type of a thing where you're, we talked about we did this with the private label. You were doing private label on your own. That was taking that knowledge. Then you decided to teach it by writing a book, right? So then we took that teaching and went even further. We created a course. We created a social group. We created mastermind groups, and so we've come up actually with a acronym that we like, a blueprint.
Let's go into that.
That we like to share with people, because it organizes the spectrum of revenue that we've been talking about.
And guys, I'll put a link to this, because Jenni came up with a really cool infographic that explains this, which on a podcast or radio show, there's no way to visually show you this. Right. I'll just put a link at streamsofincomeradio.com for that blueprint.
Awesome. So we took the word master and we made it an acronym. And so the M is meet a need. So that's like Ryan's book that he wrote about private label, The Easy Way. Okay. Then the A is add value. That's like a course or something where you put more meat on the bones. And it was, when we did that initially, it was a downloadable, longer PDF, ebook kind of a thing. It was lessons so it wasn't just the chapters, they were longer, and there was assignments that they needed to do. So added value.
But and the beauty of that, guys, is it wasn't like totally brand new content.
Right.
She was the master, and she had done this before, and that's why you partner with people, is that she had essentially done this process. We took the content that was already in my book and just added lessons with assignments, and it became the course. So don't think you have to create something completely brand new to create a new stream of income and serve people in a different way. There's going to be people that just read your book and that's it. You're never going to hear from them. They're going to either read it or not read it, or they're going to take action on it and they're going to do great. But they don't need to go further. But a lot of people do need to go further with you.
Oh, they want to. Even they don't need to. They want to. They want to connect. It's that community and those relationships. They want a relationship. How cool is it to meet and get to know the author of a book that's changed your life?
Yeah.
They want to do that. So
by the way, we have like 4 minutes left. This is going fast. So
I'll go through it quick. So the meet and need, the book, the add value is like a course, that kind of a thing. And then the social piece is you've got to get a community piece in there. We use Facebook groups because that community, that's where you're going to find how you can better meet the needs that are there. Lots of more revenue streams can come out of that as you're listening and paying attention. We already talked about that. So that's MAST is team. That's kind of more engagement. They're closer to you. A live event, that face-to-face falls under team. A mastermind where it's more individual, even though it's a small group. You're as the one who's written the book, as the expert, you're able to reach people differently in a smaller environment. That's team. The E is end-to-end services, or a done for you type of a model where you go in and you do this for somebody else. And then the R stands for recurring, and coming up with some a membership site or some way to serve them on a recurring basis. That's the MASTER. And I think, Ryan, you said already that you can put that graphic, which will explain it.
Totally
but
will.
It's a way to organize this spectrum of revenue so that you can go, okay, I have a group already. Now what can I do with it? And you can look at this MASTER, this map or this blueprint, and plug in, I've got the S piece, and you can see and make a plan for where you're going to go next. And that is critical to being able to grow in a timely manner and to control your growth, to not let it be this duct tape strategies, that you're kind of just pulling together, but to be intentional in your business.
Yep, absolutely. We got 2.5 minutes left. So how do we get people involved with this? How do we help them to create their streams of income?
Yeah, so I think you're going to put some links on your page, but we're going to be we're launching a program together where we teach this. And there's a couple options that are going to be available, but we want you guys, we're going to have a Facebook group where we're going to dig in a little bit deeper, spend 5 or 6 days just going deep. It's going to be a free group where we want to learn we want to be able to serve you guys and teach you what we've learned over the years as we've implemented this in our own businesses so that you can have multiple streams of income.
Yep. And those topics real quick in that group are going to be basically how to bolt down your e-commerce business. So if you already are selling physical products and you're so busy doing that you can't imagine how you're going to move on to something else. We'll talk about how to bolt that down so you can add on another stream, how to monetize your passion. We're going to have people on the hot seat where we're going to kind of break down their situation and give them ideas. That's going to be fun. How to create a course in 3 days. Is going to be one of the topics we're going to dive into. And then obviously the MASTER acronym, we're going to go deeper into that on one of the days.
Right. And it's going to be a free group to get into. We just want there's so much power behind this.
Oh yeah.
That we can't be quiet about it. We want to share it and help you understand how you too can build multiple revenue streams and a spectrum of revenue around something you're passionate about or your message or whatever.
Guys, this is possible. We want to help. We're here to serve. This is what gets us excited when we are together with somebody. Like we were just in San Diego earlier this year with somebody kind of in a living room talking about her business. Jenni and I were just really excited about all these ideas that we were throwing out at that she could potentially do. This is fun for us. We want to help you take something that you're passionate about and turn it into a profit. Serve people well, engage with them well. They're going to come to you and we're going to show you how to serve them, also make money at the same time and do something that you love. So go to streamsofincomeradio.com. I'll have the link to that free Facebook group that we're going to open that up next week. So we're recording this on December the 11th. Our goal is to have it open next week, starting on the 16th. And if you're listening to this afterwards, I'm sure we'll still be able to help you out, get you into the program that we're going to offer. But guys, thanks for listening. Jenni, thanks for being on with me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
It's been super fun. Maybe you'll be the first guest to be on number 3 or 3 times in a row eventually. Guys, you're listening to the Streams of Income Radio Show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and we'll see you in the next episode.